You know, it's really amazing, you know, they talk about Fort Mac Strong, and really the strength of each individual came out at that time.
The time in question was the day of the evacuation from the wildfires. The individuals were the helicopter pilots, doctors, and nurses. The situation was getting dire as people were fleeing the city.
As you know, we've been calling this fire the Beast, and I had no idea how large a forest fire could get until I saw a fire of this magnitude.
And as the smoke kind of got bigger and bigger and closer, then it started to really get real. And then that's when I guess started kicking in that, okay, I think we might have a problem, I guess.
It was real, all right. The flames began to curl over the mountains near Abasand and made their way to Beacon Hill. So the hospital staff began getting patients to safety as quickly as possible. Most patients could be transported by the highways, but there was one patient who required immediate care in the intensive care unit. They had to be transported by air to the nearest facility, so with some quick thinking, Katie Kirshner called the local helicopter emergency response organization, HERO for short, for a big-time favor.
We got a call, I forget the exact time, it was in the afternoon, I believe.
Roughly about 2 o'clock, I believe it was, from the IC unit at Northern Lights Regional.
That some of the patients in the hospital couldn't be taken out by road, and we knew that it was about to be evacuated, so we were asked to come and see if we could bring some of them out.
So the other patients could drive out, but there was one that we knew needed medical attention and needed it sooner than later, so we had to get that patient out as fast as we could and as safely as we could.
The first thoughts of my mind, actually on the phone call request, I said, I think it would be best to get this patient sooner than later.
Based on the conditions of the wildfire, the assumption from Ken Duick was correct. This phone conversation was the easy part, as the challenging part was mere minutes away. First, they had to navigate the blackened skies from Phoenix Heli-Flight to the hospital, and then they had to find a landing spot, because the Northern Lights Regional Health Center does not have a landing pad.
First of all, we had to deal with all the smoke and fire, so we had to kind of fly fairly low to get under everything.
And we were just picking our way through as we went down the Clearwater Valley towards waterways and then eventually towards the hospital.
We landed in the field adjacent to it.
And it was really surreal to just see this huge machine landing in a field where it should not be.
And we couldn't get the patient through the gate that had access to the field. So that was frustrating.
So then one of the helicopter pilots realized, hey, I think we have enough room in the parking lot to actually land.
We had to reposition the aircraft over into the parking lot, you know, not an ideal setting to land the helicopter.
So we had to clear out some cars in the parking lot to make enough space to bring the aircraft in so that the patient could be wheeled directly into the aircraft and then flown from there.
With no landing pad, if it wasn't for the quick thinking of the pilots, who knows what could have happened to the intensive care patient. The actions taken by not only the pilots, but the doctors and nurses helped save a life that day. They don't want to be referred as heroes, though, as they are just part of a program that is designed for this type of situation.
Our program here is actually called the Local Hero Foundation, which stands for Helicopter Emergency Response Operations. So that's basically what I think of when I think of HERO.
I'm glad the program exists so that we were here at the right time, at the right place to be able to, you know, do what we can in that kind of an emergency.
The fact that we have the helicopters that are able to come and assist us, especially just being so rural, that it's phenomenal.
Everyone has a story from May 3rd. This is just another one to add to the list, as together we are Fort McMurray Strong, and I am Doug Roxford.